everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Becca, if we have never met before, and this is my YouTube channel where I talk all about houseplants, houseplant care, houseplant fun, and today I am going to be doing some repotting of my new plants, and I'm very excited about it. But first, I need to make myself some breakfast, I need a smoothie, and then we will get into it. That's a good smoothie. I'm using a reusable Starbucks cup because it's big. I usually make my smoothies like way too big and it never fits into my cups that I use. So venti cup it is. And now I just need to set up the area for my repotting. So I've got a lot that I need to repot today. First thing I'm going to repot is this gorgeous Anthurium that I got in a giveaway. So I'm going to remove everything else from the table that I strategically placed here. So I'm going to repot it into this pot right here. This is a 6-inch pot, and yeah, that's really all there is to it. I actually had a friend make me a mixture that is good for aeroids because I'm very new to this kind of plant, Anthuriums. I'm not, super well versed with them, so I thought that I would ask for help, which is very unlike me. I am not a person that likes to ask for help, but I did, and I'm glad that I did. It was a very good decision on my part, so good job, Becca. Way to swallow your pride, So the friend that made me this mixture is actually a plant scientist in Tucson, and the person that I bought my other Anthurium from, he's really awesome. You should give him a follow on Instagram. I will put his name on the screen. He just has a lot of knowledge about plants, and he's very, very entertaining to talk with him. Okay, I decided what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about this new thing on Instagram that I'm doing, and this is going to be a very self-promo moment, but I promise that this will benefit you as well, so please stick with me. And it's all related to this bag of soil here, if that makes any sense at all. So, let me fill this up, and then I will start talking. Wow, the root system on this plant is really cool. I did not know that that's what it would look like. Super awesome. So I'm gonna need a little bit less of this mixture. But, okay, so I bring all of this up because Christian made me this soil mixture, and he gave it to me when I had dinner with, this pot is gonna be too small. Is it? I think we'll be all right. Whew. So anyway, Cassandra invited us over for dinner, and we both brought our significant others, and it was really, really fun to just hang out and have a small little community event, and it was super impromptu, and we just hung out and had dinner, and we all hung out, and our partners were kind of just like plants, and we were just geeking out, and it was just so much fun to hang out and just be together with friends. And you know what? I think that plant community starts when you stop talking about plants, if that makes any sense at all. I mean, there's so much more to us as people than the plants that we keep, and that is definitely where those friendships start and why those friendships happen. But I just think that it's so cool when we are able to kind of step outside of that and talk about other things, other things happening in our lives and things like that. So anyway, I'm sure that a lot of you know that plant community is really, really important to me, and it's something that is very deeply, ingrained on my heart. I think that it's so important to have community, no matter what that looks like, whether that is in plants or in a different hobby that you might have. I just think that plants are a really easy segue for people because there's a lot to talk about. So I don't know, I just want to encourage you to find some way to be involved in a plant community, whether that's online or in person. I think that you will really benefit from it because there's so much camaraderie and fun that can come from it. And if you are having trouble finding plant community, then I have a solution to this problem that I have, I've mentioned it a few times on YouTube. If you've been following me for a while, you know the drill, you know what I'm about to say. I actually started this community hashtag idea where you, the plant community member, kind of take it into your own hands to create the hashtag for your city. Use that as a tool to find plant people in your area. So a lot of people, whenever I talk about plant community, tell me that they have a really hard time finding people. And that is the solution that I have come up with. And it is definitely not a foolproof solution. There are a lot of things that could go wrong in that, if you live in a small city or if you don't have Instagram, there's just like a lot of things that could still hinder you from finding a plant community. But I think that if you are on Instagram, that is a really, really big step towards finding people. So anyway, all of this to say, I started that hashtag idea, and then it started to grow a lot, which is super exciting. I mean, it's by no means worldwide, but there are definitely more people using it than I ever thought would. And so it was kind of taking over my Instagram, my personal plant Instagram. And I wanted to come up with a way to keep it going, perhaps put more time into it, and I don't know, make a space for people to just very pointedly find a plant community, kind of like the white pages. You know how the white pages in the phone book was for people? So it's kind of like the white pages of plants. And so I created the Instagram account called the Indoor Jungle Directory, but essentially it is a white pages for plant people. It is a little phone book-esque type of situation where people can go and find plant people near them, hopefully. And if not near them, maybe, oh, I don't need this big pot for this. I'm going to use one of my new pots for this plant because this pot will be far too large. So the Indoor Jungle Directory is just born out of the genuine, love of community in my heart and my interest in helping plant people find their people, because I think that, our hobby can be quite isolating if we don't have friends in it, because people think we're crazy. Are we crazy? I say this as there's a leaf pressing up against my face, and I'm sitting on the floor in my kitchen repotting a plant. We're not crazy. So anyway, that is the heart behind Indoor Jungle Directory, is just helping plant people find their people. And I really hope that you will go and check out that account on Instagram and just find out more about it, see if there's any plant people near you, and, just kind of dig into that community and see what happens, because I think something really cool could potentially happen. And also, a lot of the time people will say, there's not a community already established. Oh well, you need to be a self-starter. If there isn't already a community around you that is established, if there's not a Facebook page, if there's not a hashtag on Instagram for your city, then you need to start it. Tell people about it, because I am sure that there are other plant people in your area that would benefit from this. And you could be the one to start it, which is so cool. So definitely consider starting something if something doesn't already exist, and just see where it takes you, because it could turn into something really significant. So that is my little self-plug that I'm going to be adding into this video. If you're not already, get plugged into a plant community. If you're too scared, I totally understand. Give yourself some time and give yourself some grace, because it is kind of nerve-wracking. Most plant people are introverts, and for us, getting out of the house and going to do something social is something we have to work up to. I completely understand. I am the same way. So, I don't know, just think about it as something that will be a really sweet thing. At the end of whatever event you go to, it will feel so sweet. How about now we do a general life update, because there have been some funny things that have happened lately, and I am keen to share. We rent our apartment, and a lot of things have recently started going wrong just very randomly, including things like the washer breaking, the sink hose breaking, that might be all. But those are like big things that we use like every single day. It's been extremely difficult to water my plants in the sink because, as I've talked about in the past, I love to water my plants in the sink. And I can't do that because the water is squirting literally everywhere, so that just really has created a problem for me. That is one of the things about renting, you know, like these things are super out of our control, and it just really sucks. Anyway, that's something that's going on around here, and let me tell you, last night, I did something fun. I went out, it was my best friend's birthday. Happy birthday, Natalie. It's the next day after your birthday. For some reason, I just really, really love berets. And beret, you know, like the hat that everybody says that French people wear, but actually French people don't really wear berets. So every time I wear a beret, people are like, oh, you look so French. And I'm like, I don't. French people don't wear berets. Anyway, I wear berets because I like the way that they look. I like the way that they feel. They're very warm, and it's more of just like a fashion choice for me. But anyway, so we all wore berets. I have like 9 of them. That's an exaggeration. I had 5, and I gave one of them the beret that they wore because I had a lot of black berets, and I don't need 5 black berets. I only need 1. We went out to dinner in our berets. We all wore black dresses and jean jackets. That was unplanned, actually, but the berets were planned. So it was just a lot of fun, us girls hanging out. It was like a total girls' night. Love a girls' night. We decided, you know, let's go to a club and see what's going on. And mind you, it was a Wednesday night, so there was nothing going on, like literally nothing. But we just, you know, we figured, why not? Just check it out. And I have to say, the crowd that is out at bars on Wednesday nights is very interesting. Like, it's either couples or, I don't know, like we were trying to come up with what their stories could be because it was just so interesting seeing all of the people. And like, we're not judging them at all. Like, we were also out on a Wednesday night, so like we can't say much, obviously. But it was just very interesting to just like see all of the Tucson creatures. You know, Tucson is a very interesting city. I love living in Tucson, and you know, I'm gonna miss it eventually when we have to move. But man, it was just so interesting seeing all of the people out. And we went to the place where I met Daniel. Daniel and I met, if you didn't know, at a bar, which is very interesting, like very out of character for both of us. And we just kind of like weren't, like neither of us were looking, and we were just out with our friends. He had just moved to Tucson. Actually, if you guys have ever seen How I Met Your Mother, we actually met in a very How I Met Your Mother way. His friend just kind of came up to me and my friends and was like, have you met Daniel?
Suggest we play a little game I like to call Have You Met Ted?
What? No, we're not playing Have You Met Ted.
Hi, have you met Ted?
Hi.
So it was just really funny how that happened, and every time I go back to that bar, which is not often, but anytime I go back, I like to go and stand in that spot that we met, and it's just kind of sweet to remember. And man, I love Daniel so much, and I love our story. I think that it's so fun that we met at a bar, like out in public. I used to be kind of like quiet about that we met at a bar, but now I'm like, we met at a bar, how fun. Because I feel like so many people meet these days on the internet, or like because they're set up by somebody else, which is like not weird at all. It's quite normal now, so I feel like meeting at a bar is weird now. So kind of like that we met the old-fashioned way. It was pretty fun, and neither of us were looking or expecting anything like this, so it's just crazy how it worked out. And now we're married, and I'm just, yeah, it's crazy. So now I'm in the process of decorating our apartment, which you will have seen, or maybe not, yeah, you will have seen my little update about how it's going decorating in here, because I would say that I really struggle with decorating my home. It's not something that comes natural to me. For people like my mom, she's had like a lot more practice than me, but she is so good at decorating a home and making it feel really, I don't know, like safe and secure and like a sweet place to be. And I really love that about my mom. And I want to be more like that. And I'm trying to do that in this apartment right now. But it's just so difficult to decorate apartments because it feels so temporary. I don't know, like this is not our forever home by any means, and so it's kind of hard to want to be motivated to decorate it. But the more that it has been decorated, the more at peace I have felt, and like the more at home I have felt, which is something that honestly I haven't felt in a really long time. So it just feels really nice to feel comfortable in my own home and like feel like it's home, you know what I mean? So anyway, sappy, getting a little emotional. I always sit on my knees in my videos, or I sit on the floor. Have you guys noticed that? Because every time I film a video with Daniel, he's like, Becca, I can't sit on the floor for that long. And it's just like really weird to me because I sit on the floor for every single video besides my Houseplant 101 video, because I actually rearranged that room. So as I was saying, I've been filming for a while and my legs and feet are like going numb because I've been sitting on the floor, which is like, it doesn't feel weird to me to sit on the floor. Like it feels like this is a natural thing that I do. I've always enjoyed sitting on the floor. So I don't know, comment down below. Do you guys sit on the floor often? Like if you film videos, do you film on the floor or do you film in a chair? I don't know, like I feel like it's just kind of weird to sit in a chair, at least for me. I've only done it a few times. So I'm repotting this Rhaphidophora. Well, not repotting, but potting it up because I won it in an auction, as you may know if you saw my recent haul video. If you haven't, a lot of these plants were in that haul video, and I'll tell you where I got them and stuff like that. Anyway, so I won this plant in an auction on Instagram on a whim. I had no idea that I was going to win. I just put in a random number. And I got it, and I'm really happy with it. It's pretty big for the price that I paid, especially for this plant, in my opinion at least. The craziest thing is there was a node on one of the parts that was cut, and there's a growth point on it, and it's growing something, which is incredibly exciting, and I was not expecting that. I didn't see it in the photo, so it's really, really cool, and I'm excited to see what this plant does because it's really cool. It hasn't flattened out since it has been in my care, but maybe as I give it different kinds of light, it'll stretch and straighten out. But either way, I think it's really cool, and I'm really excited about this growth point. Like, that is top-notch, very exciting. I think the last two things that there's a lot of things I need to repot, but I think that I already ran out of pots, which is classic. But I need to repot this whale fin really bad. This is my personal whale fin, so no, I'm not trading. I don't want to sell it. Basically what's going on is the rhizome in here is huge, and there's a baby on this side. If you can, I'm not sure how well you can see that, but there's a baby, and I really would prefer to not damage the baby, obviously. So I'm thinking, I don't know, there's just so many roots on that rhizome. So either I break this jar, which I don't want to do, or I trim down the rhizome, which I also don't want to do. Yeah, but if I pull it out like this, I think that it'll for sure damage the baby. Like, there's no way that it won't. I'm gonna have to break the jar. All right, I'm back. That was surprisingly easier than I thought it was. So now I need to figure out what size of pot this needs to go in. The issue with this plant is it's very top heavy. And the pot that it was in previously, it just tipped over all the time, and that was obviously a problem. So let's see if I pack this in nicely, if it will still do that. Well, that's not so bad. I mean, it's still wobbly, but not as wobbly, and there are more roots this time around planting it than there were last time. So hopefully this will stay. I am finally going to repot this one, or not repot, but pot up. And it is my lovely, beautiful variegated monstera. Really excited about this one. All right, she is potted up and she looks beautiful. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed. If you like repotting videos, I do these pretty regularly, so definitely hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!